Kim Taehyung is a mafia boss who got married to John Jungkook, an innocent cute boy. Kook thought Taehyung loved him dearly, but he was mistaken. For Taehyung, he was just an obsession, a play toy with whom he could play, fight or break, but only him. But once, when Jungkook escaped the house with the help of Yoongi, he realized he misses him. More like he loves him, but it was already too late. When he found Jungkook back, he was a whole new person. Jungkook hated Tae for his doings, but not entirely. He even asked for a divorce. That broke Taehyung's heart. The only person he loved and trusted in this whole world hated him. He realized his mistake and decided to give him divorce. Jungkook's son, do you want a divorce? Taehyung's mom asked him. He didn't know what to say. I'll support your decision if you do. But if there is a small part of you that cares about my son, I hope you can give him another chance. I'm not saying to forgive him right away. I want Taehyung to work hard to win your heart back. I want him to learn how to cherish what he has and to fight for you, Kook. Son, there is something you don't know about Taehyung. When Taehyung was 4 years old, a psycho who hated Tae's father kidnapped him. We couldn't find Tae for months, looking everywhere for him. After almost 5 months, we thankfully got Tae back. And you know, when my husband brought him back, Taehyung seemed different. He wasn't cheerful anymore, always quiet. He didn't even cry, Jungkook, not even once. Jungkook couldn't help but ask, did that man do something to him? Diego, his dad, tortured that psycho who refused to tell us what he did. He had the audacity to tell my husband to enjoy raising a broken child. We had the best psychiatrist come here to get Taehyung to talk, yet he didn't say a word. The bruises on his little body though said it all. She sniffled and Jungkook felt his heart cleanse, upset for what Taehyung went through as a kid. Your parents came to visit us one day and they brought you with them. You were smaller than Taehyung back then, so polite and obedient, so lovable. You went to play in the backyard while we talked to your parents, and that's when we heard Taehyung cries. We found him in the backyard with you, sobbing louder while you wrapped your small hands around him, comforting him. Jungkook was shocked to learn that he came here before when he was a kid and that he even met Taehyung. We didn't know what happened between you and Taehyung, but all we know is that you told him not to be afraid before he broke down in tears. You looked so confused as you held Tae, asking us to help comfort him. Although my son never told us what happened to him, we were relieved to see him cry. We spoiled him so much after that, getting anything he wanted. We thought he was back to acting normal, but I always noticed that he was different. Jungkook, I'm not telling you this for you to feel sorry for him and forgive him. I just wanted you to know that what happened changed our son. Until now, he never told us what he went through. And I know only you can get him to confide in you. I hope you can forgive him one day for what he did, because you're hurting yourself as much as you're hurting him. He looked back at his mother, who could always see through him. He fought the tears and bit his trembling lip, looking down. I don't know. Taehyung? Yoongi shouted, startling everyone. Mom, where is Taehyung? Yoongi, son, what is wrong? You're scaring me. There was a fire on my way here, and I saw a car that looks like Taehyung's Ferrari there. The police chased us away and they didn't let me have a look, so I came here first to check. Jungkook didn't know if he screamed his disbelief aloud. The room was spinning, his heart racing, finding it hard to breathe. Jungkook stared at the door where he last saw Taehyung. He knew that he should have stopped him. He should have at least tried to hear him out. No, my son! My baby, no! Jungkook found himself sobbing, sitting when someone offered him a chair. His enemies were out to get him, and he knew. Why did he leave alone? Why no one inspected the car? Mom rushed to the TV and turned it on. Unfortunately, the news confirmed it. All the news channels had the same headline about the Korean mafia boss perishing in a car accident. Jungkook watched with a blurry gaze as they showed the accident scene. It's not an accident. Why are they calling it an accident? They have to. It's so evident that this is the result of a mafia war. They have to hide it. The body of who we believe is Kim Taehyung has been extracted from the car, the reporter said on the TV. A white body bag was carried, and when Jungkook looked at the hand slipped out of the cover, and he saw a ring. Their wedding ring. Yoongi? They all froze at the sound of his voice. They all looked stunned yet relieved. Jungkook couldn't believe his eyes. Taehyung? He whispered, and the man smiled as if he heard him. Yoongi, I need a change of clothes, a new passport, and a new car apparently. His clothes covered in black smoke, his hair was shaggy and all over the place, and his face held some bruises. I thought I lost you, son. You almost gave me a heart attack, Taehyung. God, I thought you were gone. So did I, he responded truthfully, wrapping his arms around her. Diego joined them, hugging his son with a cheerful chuckle. Jungkook just stared at him in disbelief until Taehyung's eyes met his own. He didn't know how his legs carried him or when did he hug him. Jungkook? Taehyung called, sounding surprised, and he got more shocked when Kook looked up with a tear-smeared face. Taehyung? I'm fine, he stuttered, feeling overwhelmed. I know, the boss said with a smile, holding his face in his hands. We are safe now. You're safe now. And that's thanks to me. A woman walked in, so beautiful, so stunning, something radiated from her, which is so irresistible to both genders. Sia, Taehyung called her name with a smile. I wouldn't be a queen if I didn't save my king. Taehyung instantly looked back at him, and Kook, who smiled, trying to hide his disappointment, sadness and embarrassment as he pushed away from him. Jungkook, I'm glad you're alright, he said with a teary gaze. I got to... He trailed off, marching back to the bedroom. Taehyung stood there, dumbfounded and surprised, his eyes trained on the door. Jungkook disappeared behind. He looked back at his parents, his friends and at Sia, who had a knowing smirk. Come on boss, go after him. He took her advice and followed after Jungkook, running up the stairs to his room. He felt he had a chance to mend things with his husband. Taehyung was beyond happy when his husband was jealous too. He was jealous. His hand wrapped around the doorknob and he stopped from opening it when he heard a sob. Although Taehyung felt happy that Jungkook was sad for the jealousy he felt over him, he couldn't help but feel upset to hear him cry. Taehyung had promised not to make him cry ever again. Taehyung was surprised when he was pushed inside the room by someone, locking the door behind him. Not going to open the door until you two have a talk and make up. Taehyung looked around the large room and met Jungkook's stunned face. Taehyung couldn't take his eyes off him, thinking of how stupid he was to ruin the life with this beautiful and incredible man. He sat next to Jungkook on the bed. He didn't know how he should start a conversation with him. Taehyung never felt this nervous and anxious in his entire life. He couldn't understand why his voice wavered when it came to Jungkook. I'm glad you're alright, Taehyung. She's beautiful. The woman, I mean Sia, she's a keeper. Taehyung decided to play along. Not every day he would get the chance to see a jealous Jungkook. That she is. She's everything a man can wish for in a woman. Lucky you, bitterness seeping off his voice. I'm lucky that I have met her. Without her, I wouldn't be able to survive today. What happened? He felt happy that Jungkook cared about him, and more certain now that he still loved him. I went out intending to kill my enemies, and I ended up the one ambushed and almost killed. Sia saved me when I got trapped in my flaming car. She's a great wife then. Have you ever fallen in love? Jungkook thought he was boasting about the woman and he felt irritated. He couldn't help but hate Sia even more for stealing Taehyung's heart. I have fallen hard. The moment I saw, I just couldn't understand why my heart was reacting that way. I felt things. Good for you, the other grumbled annoyed. He sounded jealous, which probably stopped him from figuring out that he was the person Tae was talking about. Yeah, he said with a lovely chuckle. Then there was the music. How his elegant fingers worked that guitar skillfully. The way he sang with his soothing voice. This time, Jungkook finally caught on, blushing when Taehyung settled beside him. I found myself drawn to that beautiful music, that beautiful face and those stunning eyes. I turned possessive and tried so hard to control myself around him. Jungkook shivered when the mafia boss held his hands in his. I tried so hard, Cook. I really did. I know that whatever I would say now won't change what happened in the past. I know that it won't be easy for you to forgive me for what I did. But I'm asking, no, I'm begging for a second chance. He got cut off when Jungkook slipped his hands away, looking down at his lap. The sight of him all defeated and that teary gaze had Taehyung's heart break in half. Jungkook gulped loudly, pausing. Taehyung's hope diminished, smiling gently. I understand, he nodded, disappointed. Just to let you know, there is nothing between Sia and I. When you left, I was afraid that people would hurt you to get to me, knowing I would do anything for them not to harm you. I faked my relationship with Sia, spreading rumors about her being my wife to throw them off, and it worked. It's your choice now, Jungkook. It's up to you if we should stay together or get apart. He stood up to leave and halted when he heard Jungkook sob. His heart torn apart at the sight, feeling helpless and unsure how to comfort him. Jungkook hated himself for crying again and looking weak in front of Taehyung, but he couldn't help it. He felt happy yet sad, relieved but a bit mad, stuck in a roller coaster of emotions. Jungkook knew that this decision might be displayed as weakness, but deep inside he knew he had a strong heart. To be able to forgive those who hurt you was never easy, and he knew if it was someone else in his shoes, they would have left Taehyung. But when it came to the matters of the heart, he was helpless. Jungkook was helplessly in love. I want to stay. I want to stay here with you. Taehyung was more than happy to hear this favorable decision. He knew that it would be difficult for both of them and mostly for Jungkook, but they would make it work. It would definitely take time for Jungkook's wounds to heal, and Taehyung would wait patiently for that to happen. He just gave his hands a soft squeeze, standing up. Alright, I need to take a bath and change. I'll be out of here in no time. When Tae was about to leave, Cook grabbed his hand, and even Tae was shocked at this attempt. You're leaving again? Do you want me to stay? With no hesitation, Jungkook nodded. A lovely smile brightened Taehyung's face. Then it settled. I'm staying. Is it alright with you if I shower here? Jungkook nodded for him to stay in the room, his heart exploding when Taehyung smiled lovingly. The mafia boss groaned when he tried to remove his jacket, wincing and feeling a sharp pain all over his bruised body. You need help? Unless you're offering to give me a bath, then no. Jungkook blushed and rushed to the door when Taehyung started taking off his pants. Mom, open the door! Taehyung just chuckled and went on with his erotic show. Mom, open the door now! His mother finally managed to open the door for him as he hurriedly ran outside. Taehyung just shook his head, mumbling, I really am an idiot for hurting him. Days passed by. Taehyung was trying his best to make Jungkook happy by doing stupid things. Meanwhile, Jungkook was secretly enjoying his husband's attention. The next morning, Yoongi told him that Taehyung was struggling with the whole situation, admitting that he He had this urge to touch him whenever he saw him, and Jungkook was surprised when he thought of it didn't upset him. If anything, he wanted was Taehyung to touch him, for them to get close and work on their relationship. Avoiding each other wouldn't help them progress. He went to the kitchen for a drink. In walked Tae, wearing nothing but a pair of sweatpants, water dripping from his hair, gliding down his chest. Jungkook couldn't stop himself from staring at him, feeling jealous of the water touching that body. Tae excused himself as he invaded his personal space to grab something. His tan wore on Kook's face when Tae reached up to get a glass. His eyes glued on that body until it moved away. Taehyung fetched milk from the fridge. Milk? The boss was drinking milk like some kid enjoying it. Jungkook heard him shuffling until he got closer to him, shoulder to shoulder as he leaned down to whisper in his ear. If you want to play hard to get, I don't mind. I like the chase. His eyes widened when he felt Taehyung's fingers playing with the hem of his shirt. He could have moved away, but instead he let him touch his shirt. He looked at Taehyung and caught that lustful look. He didn't know what to say back and mumbled the first thing that crossed his mind. Are you hungry? Starving. Taehyung took a seat facing him. He watched him when he cut the ham and prepared his sandwich. He watched him like a hawk, studying his every move, licking his lips when Jungkook licked the mayo off his fingers. He was watching him like a wolf assessing his prey or mate. Here, now it was Jungkook's turn to watch. He watched Taehyung devour that bread and suck the juice of his fingers, licking his lips and swipe his tongue over for any breadcrumbs. His body started to heat up as his eyes fixed on those plump lips, wanting to feel them. Jungkook, you keep staring at me like that, I won't be able to control myself anymore. Jungkook stood up ready to run, but he yelped when he was carried off the floor by his husband. Taehyung, say it again. Say my name again, Jungkook. If you do, I'll take you to my bed and show you the love I feel for you. Please let me go, he begged, suddenly feeling nervous. He feared that he might, again, he would violate him and wouldn't keep his promise. Do you want me to? Jungkook was speechless. He loved Taehyung's arms around him. Taehyung obeyed, but he held his hands for a while. Jungkook could see the pain, despair, and want in those eyes. I want you to tell me that I have a chance. Jungkook looked down and Taehyung let go. He moved away back to where he left his food. Taehyung, it was all he said. You said my name! Jungkook, you know what this means? Jungkook looked at Taehyung and smiled a little. I'm coming! The mafia boss ran after his giggling husband. Hi guys, this is the end of the story. If you want a bonus part, please comment.